Kerry, I've never been this close to you. You know, I've seen you on stage, I've seen you in pictures, and your tattoo work is amazing, phenomenal. Is this all Paul Booth or other artists?
This side's Paul Booth.
I love it.
Paul, he finished this dude, and then, you know, we just went on and on and on, and I'm on tour, and he goes to Europe and Japan, and, you know, we just can't get together as much as we'd like to. So the only one that's was done was this one, but when he comes back and finishes everybody else, he might touch that guy up too, you know.
Yeah.
It'll just be a different look.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not on tour, so I haven't got my arm hair gone. That's like my warrior look when I'm on tour. Got to get rid of the hair because I got to show off the tats.
Oh, okay, cool. And do you just let him kind of go, or do you have a vision of what you're looking?
I totally let him go.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome, beautiful stuff.
He's a sick freak.
And you know what I think is great is that these tats end up on the graphics on your guitars as well.
Mostly the tribal stuff. We were talking about Bernie Rico earlier.
Right.
And Bernie Rico Jr., it was his idea to put the tribal, incorporate that into the guitars. It was his idea, and kind of ran with it. And, you know, now all my BC Riches have that stuff. Now I've got stuff on Dunlop. I got a couple pedals. I got strings coming out this January's NAMM show, and it's all got my hand tattoo on it.
Very cool.
So they ran like a little promotion, and the head.
Right, the new Marshall head.
Yep. It's all, you know, it's kind of cool because people look at this, they think of me. You know, it's kind of like what the nails used to represent.
Right.
And I still wear those from time to time, but this has become what it is, and it's like every product I put out, it's got the tribal on it.
We all love the armbands with the spikes, you know, standard little pyramid spikes, but you had actual full-on nails coming out.
Yeah.
That's out of control. I think you were the first guy to do that.
That's a good story. We played a show, I believe it was the Roxy, and we never really hit Hollywood that much, but we were playing with, it was us, it was Bitch, and somebody else. But Bitch, they had a bass player, and he came out with like leg gauntlets and arm gauntlets. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know the dude. You know, he was an acquaintance. I debuted the nails that day. He debuted all those that day. His were like that big.
Right.
You know, it was kind of like how I describe what we do in Slayer. It's like riding the line between incredibly heavy and ridiculous. And you got to know what that line is, because a lot of bands go over that line in their music and their tempo, whatever. But at that point, there was a 2.5-inch nail, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You know, if I go any bigger, it's kind of ridiculous, so I don't want to do it. And I just killed him in a 1-2 punch without even thinking about it.
Right.
And even though in the early days I wore it for most of the set, now you'll see it like first 2 songs, you might see it as an encore, because we're playing more intricate stuff, and my tendons don't like being wrapped up.
Right.
You know, people say, hey, why don't you wear the nails all the time? It's like, well, you know, we're playing harder stuff than we did back then, and it can't happen. King don't touch your retics.
Wow.
I mean, they're so strong. It's amazing how strong they are. And so many of my friends get hit, and their tendons get ripped.
Wow.
And I can't do that.
Yeah, sure. It's your
I
career,
can't.
yeah. And what would you feed a snake like that?
Pretty much anything it wants.